sometime in my life, I hated God so bad. It hasn't just been easy because people probably think it has been an easy peasy walk kind of journey for me. If anybody told me I was going to be abroad 5 years ago, I would have told you you're a big liar. I wasn't asking him, what do you want from me? I was just telling him what I wanted, and I felt like whatever I said, he should do it. It is not easy, but don't give up. Just another sunny day in Southern California. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and if this is the first time that you're watching me or coming across my page, please just stay with me, love, and just subscribe. Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing something that is very personal to me. I have not really talked about it after it happened, and I mean, it was a very terrible state for me. The thing is, sometime in my life, I hated God so bad. I hated God because I felt he wasn't listening to me. I felt he didn't love me enough. I don't know how to explain it, but it was very bad. And I don't think people around me really knew how deep, I really hated God at the point. So this was like fast forward back to 2017, 2018 when I was in law school, Nigerian Law School. And if you are Nigerian, all over the world, law schools are really intense and really like a bit different from every other type of exams. So I put in my all. If you're listening to me and maybe you are in law school Abuja campus sometime 2017, 2018, you probably must have come across this face. Yeah. I was so dedicated in law school. I read like I've never read before. I stretched myself like I've never stretched myself before to read. And I had this journal where I was always writing down what I wanted, and then I always wanted to, come out with a first class at the Nigerian Law School. To my greatest surprise, I graduated with a 2.2. Like when the results came out and I checked, it was a 2.2. I can't remember I was in my living room at home, and I cannot remember. Sorry, you might just be hearing a few, noise in the house. Sorry about that. So I can't remember who was at home at the time. I can't remember my particular sibling. I think it was Chelsea who was home at the time when I checked my results, and I screamed like I wanted to kill myself. I cried. Sorry, I just got a bit emotional there, and at that point I asked God why. I asked him why because I was not expecting to graduate or to get a 2.2, right? I really wanted a first class. I really worked hard for it. People who knew me at the time knew that I was really aiming for that. You can just imagine being in a circle where, just imagine you being in a circle where 90% of your friends had first class and 2.1s. And, in some cases, you were doing the tutorial, right? So it was a little bit off for me because I don't know what happened. I don't know where I went wrong. I started seeing myself as a failure, and I just hated God. I hated God. I don't even know why, but the hatred just came so deep that I did not. If he mentioned, "Oh, God knows best," I was so mad because I felt like, he failed me. He didn't love me enough. He didn't, keep to his word. He said that we should ask, and that anything that we asked in his name, that he was going to give it to us. So I wondered why, after I asked in his name, he didn't do that for me. So I hated him. And I cried so badly because I also felt like, oh, Summer, without a first class or a 2.1, you can't even get into the top law firms. I fantasized about working at top law firms, name them, the top 5 law firms in Nigeria. I fantasized about working there. I really loved, the idea of working in those law firms because I knew they were going to kind of like give me an edge. So I thought. I was so sad. I applied to a couple of law firms, just for me to, get posted there. And they all turned me down, right? And then there was this particular one that I wrote, and even those who had first class didn't get in. And I felt like they probably just had slots somewhere. But now, this is not what I'm about to share. What I'm about to share is a phase in my life that I regret that I hated God. But at the same time, he was very patient with me. He allowed me to grieve. He allowed me to really cry. He allowed me to just process things differently, because after that, I kind of like understood why it didn't happen the way it did. It might sound crazy, but somehow I feel like if it happened when it happened, like if I had gotten a first class, then I don't think I would even be in Canada, to be very honest. And sometimes we try to be faster than our shadows. We try to outsmart God. We try to like make it look like we know better. So for instance, you're like, oh my God, when I'm done with school, I want to, do my master's. I want to get married. I want to have kids. That's such a very smooth transition. I mean, it's not like people do not have these transitions, but I mean, I just feel like it is not being as real. I don't know. We're just saying what we want, proposing without actually, relying on God and what he actually wants for us. I think that is one big factor. I wasn't asking him, what do you want from me? I was just telling him what I wanted. And I felt like whatever I said, he should do it. All right. Even though right now I feel like I discuss and have conversations with God more, and I kind of like understand. So I didn't get to serve at any top law firms. I mean, why would they give me a position with a tutu from the Nigerian Law School? Because they were all big on, what your results were at the Nigerian Law School. And I finally got to serve at ECOWAS Parliament. That was where I had the opportunity to dream big. That was where I had the opportunity to, calm down and reflect. And like just thinking back, if I didn't go to ECOWAS, I don't think I would have actually thought of, doing my master's abroad or even focusing on academia, because I just wanted to be a judge. That was my goal, before now. And I wanted to be a judge. And it's crazy, like thinking about how so many things have changed, right? And I'm grateful to God that he just put me on the right path. And coming from a family that, were very successful and competitive at the same time, I just felt like a failure at the time. I cried so hard. I felt useless, and I'm just glad I don't think my family knew how deep this ate into me. Like, I don't think they knew how worried I was that I did not make it first class. I don't think they knew how I hated God, because I don't think, like, I had this friend of mine, very sweet girl, my very good friend, Sotonya, shout out to you, my darling. She would always, try to talk to me about God, and I would always shun her because I was really mad at God. I'm so sorry, because I know better. So why am I sharing this part of me? I'm sharing this part of me because so many of us are in situations that we do not like, in situations that we never thought of being in. If you have followed my journey, I mean, I don't really talk about my, and that's why I want to start talking about them, so that people just know that it hasn't just been easy, because people probably think it has been an easy peasy walk kind of journey for me. And that's something that I don't really like. I want to like, say my truth, and also like help you to grow and motivate you to like even do better and don't stop. Now, I don't want you to give up. You're probably in a state where maybe you wrote an exam and you failed. You're probably in a state where you've applied to several positions, you've applied to several universities, and you're getting a rejection. You've applied for tons of scholarships and they're telling you, we're sorry to disappoint you. It is painful. It is terrible. I'm not even going to lie. See, I'm a very emotional person, so that is why you might be seeing my eyes are a bit teary and stuff. That's because I know what it is. And I'm not going to edit this. It's just going to be as, I'm not going to cut out anything, but it's just going to be as real as it can be. So you wouldn't know what God is preparing for you if you stop now. So if you stop applying, if you stop, pushing for those roles, if you stop, fighting to get to where you want to be, how would you testify? How would you know how would you even know the table he prepared for you? How would you know the path that he has prepared you for? So imagine if I gave up, hated God, gave up on my career, became a shadow of myself, and I stopped pushing. I wouldn't have been in Canada. I wouldn't have gotten a fully funded scholarship for my master's, which was for 2 years. I wouldn't have gotten a fully funded scholarship that I am currently doing for my PhD. I feel like when I just think back and I'm like, Summer, just look at what God has prepared for you. He knew what he wanted. He knew where I was going to be at in the next 5 years. If anybody told me I was going to be abroad 5 years ago, I would have told you you're a big liar, because I was so fixated on being a judge, right? And I really wanted to be in the legal space, like, practice land stuff. But my darlings, it is completely different. It is not the same, and I'm grateful to God that he redirected my steps, just imagine, someone told me, I applied to different schools and I sent over 500 cold emails. And Summer, I always got a no, but the 501st one, that is 501, the last email I sent, it was a yes. I felt it, because imagine if this person had given up. So why should you give up? So this video is just to encourage you, to let you know that you can do it. God has not forsaken you. It might seem like, because things are not going the way you want it to at the moment, but trust me, the end would justify the means, and you would really appreciate the end, right? So I don't know if I spoke to you. I don't know if you know someone who is currently going through a difficult state. Maybe the person is trying to be depressed. It is a very terrible. Jesus Christ. When law school results is out, do you know how the internet and everywhere is booming? Like, everyone is talking about it. Why do you think people commit suicide? There are tons of people that have committed suicide because of their law school results. I was crying as if I had a pass. Or not even a pass is even better than failing law school. So I was crying like as if I failed law school. So if you hear me and I tell you I had a 2-2, people will be like, I don't understand. Is that not a good grade, right? So it was a very sad moment for me. But right now, I think I am happy. Like, I am so happy that it happened the way it happened. It might have been different if I had even made, because see, it's not about, I'm trying to maybe console myself. No. Like, if you knew me in law school, Abuja campus at the time, you would know that my goodness, do you know TDBs I did? Do you know how I was even, my God, I was even teaching people a week to the exam. If my flatmates in law school and Sotoya can remember, I went blank. I think it was Sotoya that knew. I went blank. I couldn't remember Jack. We tried to do Q&A, that's question and answer sessions. I couldn't answer. I didn't know what was, being talked about. I was crying. I gave myself a break because I felt like I've pushed myself so hard and my brain just went blank. Like, no, Summer, you can't take this. I gave myself a day break. I came back. I still couldn't remember. I cried. I was literally sleeping on the on the church, because I'm a Catholic. So I was always going for morning masses. I was doing so many things. So you see why I kind of like hated God then. But I do not hate God. I love him. And I know that, everything that I have achieved and I am still achieving and the point that I am in my life right now was God's plan. Like, I can't outsmart God. So I want you to believe in God, trust in his word, and use my story as a point of contact. See, it is not easy, but don't give up. The day you give up and say, I'm not doing this anymore, that's the day that you shut the door that God has opened for you without you knowing. I hope I was able to, make you just know that life is indeed not easy, but it is indeed beautiful. No matter the situation you find yourself in, always know that God had you in mind. He has your best interest at heart. It's not doing that to make you hate him. You would definitely be fine. So guys, I just want you to know that I'm here. Anytime you want to talk, feel free to, send me a direct message on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Soma Okibe. Or you could even tweet at me on Twitter at Soma Okibe as well. Or you could just drop your comments. I would really appreciate it if you could drop your comments in the comment section so that I could read and we could motivate each other. And please don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time, or if you have not considered subscribing, please do, and please share with your loved ones. And catch you later in our next video. Bye.